So, how did you get the name The Hurt? Is that because it rhymes with Kurt and you kick people's ass or something? Like, how did you get that name?
Yeah, basically. I mean, actually, it was sort of given to me before I started MMA. It was just me and my buddies. We were in high school still, and we were actually playing in just like a just for fun slow pitch tournament, and we were all giving each other nicknames, sort of, and that's the one I got, and it sort of stuck with me, I guess. So,
You can Google yourself and find over 23 million search results. How do you think you got to be such a widely known fighter?
I don't know. I guess the experience. I've had 19 pro fights now, and I've fought on some pretty big cards, and the MFC has definitely helped with my exposure. They've been definitely the biggest contributor as far as getting my name out there. The Access TV thing, and I've done a ton of interviews that they've set up for me, and yes, I mean I can give them a lot of the credit as well. But I think just working hard and trying to work my way up the MMA ladder. You get more and more fans and more recognition. So, yeah.
And you've won over twice your fight. Why do you think you've been so successful so far?
Well, I wish I won all of them. you know, uh, that'd be a lot more successful. But I don't know. I think I worked hard. Sorry, what was that?
I was saying you're still doing really well, though. I was just wondering why.
Yeah. No, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of what I've done, and I'm happy with it. You win some, you lose some, and but I think I just work hard, and I'm always trying to get better. Is one thing. I never want to be happy with where I'm at. I think I want to just consistently improve in my skills, and I try to do whatever that takes with the resources that I have available to me to improve my skills, and I think I am consistently getting better.
So your dedication to improving yourself?
Yeah, I think so. That and I enjoy what I do. I enjoy fighting. I enjoy training and learning, and so I put as much time as I possibly can into it.
Mhm. And how did you first get into MMA?
Well, I started wrestling when I was a kid, and I wrestled up until university. I wrestled a couple of years with the University of Saskatchewan, and after I quit wrestling, a couple of years went by, and I was, started getting that itch to compete again, and I was around probably the first season of The Ultimate Fighter had just started, and I watched it, and I'd watched the UFCs before a little bit, but I wasn't like a huge fan, but I was still into it a little bit.
Mm.
But the Ultimate Fighter 1, watching the reality show actually kind of made me realize that these guys are like actually athletes, and watching some of the training, it did remind me a lot of like just wrestling training, so like, what, maybe I will give it a shot. And actually, my coach now, Graham Wink, was one of the personal trainers just at a gym that I was working out at, and I kind of started talking to him. He's like, yeah, I sort of just opened up my own gym, and he had a kickboxing background, and we done some jiu-jitsu, and he had a couple MMA fights, and he was, starting to coach fighters and stuff, so I just went out and joined the team, and had my first fight about 5 months later, so.
You competed only 5 months later?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I had
a pro.
It is pro. I mean, back then it was 2007, so the regulations of what it is now were there. So I mean, I think it was almost a non-sanctioned fight. So it was, the lines of pro and amateur back then were a little bit more blurry than they are now. Anywhere where we were fighting anyway. So, but I had a pretty substantial wrestling background. I wrestled since I was 8 years old, and I think I was 23 at the time. So I'd wrestled for a lot of years, and
a lot of experience.
Yeah, but I mean, 5 months is pretty quick. Like I think I picked up on it fairly quickly because of my wrestling background, and again, like I was dedicated. Like from the first day I started until the day I had my fight, I don't think I missed a practice. So I was there every single day training. 2-3 hours a day, and I think like there wasn't a real big amateur scene going on back then either. Like not in Canada anyway. Like it was tough to find a fight, whether it was amateur or pro. It was like whatever, right? So a lot of guys.
It was hard to find a fight in general.
Yeah, I mean in Canada for a while there there wasn't a whole lot of amateur MMA going on at all. So I think that really picked up a lot in the last couple of years, but back when I first started, there wasn't really a whole lot, So
yeah, and that isn't the case anymore.
No, yeah, I think the amateur system is a lot better than it was. I think it's a lot better now. A lot more guys are doing it where they're starting out, having a few amateur fights and stuff, and see how that goes before you go pro. And that's what I think. If I could do it over again, that's probably the better way to go about it, right? But
so in your first fight against Jonatas Novas, I'm not sure how you pronounce it actually, but
Novas, yeah.
Novas, okay. All right, so I thought you had that fight. In the first round, you had rocked him, and then you begun hammer fisting him. Do you think if the fight just lasted a few more seconds, that you would have won?
Right at the end of the bell, there, I had him, dropped him, and yeah, I was on him, and that's how I ended up finishing him in the second fight. So I could see it if that would have went, another 10 seconds, I could have, possibly ended it. So
was that frustrating?
Yeah, that fight in general was really frustrating, the way it ended up. But, at the end of, at the time when I had him hurt and I had him, and I was on him and the bell rang, it wasn't frustrating at that time because I was just like, all right, I definitely won that round. That round was, I dropped him right at the beginning of the round, and then
again at the end, yeah.
And again at the end, and in between, I was pretty much in control of the rest of the round, so it was like, all right, sweet, I got that round, definitely in the bag. So I didn't let it get to me. You can't, in a fight, you can't let it get to you. If you get rattled in between rounds, it can shake your confidence, or you want to just stay focused on what you got to do, so you just gotta let it go and get back out there for round 2 and try and do it again.
So, out of all of your fights, who would you say was the most challenging?
The most challenging?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I guess like Tom Galicchio beat me twice, so my last guy. So I don't know. It was a challenge trying, him beating me the first time and then going out and trying to get it back and losing. I don't know if it's challenging, it's frustrating, I guess, and I don't know.
And he used the same choke on you both times. Was that something that you were expecting and trying to prepare for after the first fight and your second one?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's his thing too, right? I think that was maybe his 12th or even 13th win via rear naked choke. So it's like, really? I knew he was, that's his move. I knew that what he does well. And it's like sometimes some people, that's why they have so many, because they're so good at it that, no matter how much you're expecting it, they're just so good it's hard to stop. You know what I mean? That's why they're able to be successful with those things. Like any other sport, like, I don't know, like Peyton Manning's good at the no-huddle offense, right? But, like, teams know he's going to do it, but they still can't stop him from doing it, right? So it's like, I'm not saying comparing Galicchio to Peyton Manning, but you know what I mean? Like, George St. Pierre is really good at double legs.
Yeah, it's just what he excels in, basically.
Jose Aldo's got good leg kicks. It's like, but, you can't, he's got good leg kicks, but he still goes out there and kicks guys' legs, right? So it's, you know what to expect, but stopping it is another thing, right?
Yeah. So this was a while ago, but I can't find it. I can't find the fight or any information on it. And I was wondering what happened. In your fight against Charlie Zach, you won by verbal submission. What happened there?
Basically, what happened is I took him down and elbowed him in the face, and he kind of rolled. I elbowed him and hit him once, a few times with my elbows, and he just kind of rolled over to his stomach and was sort of saying, "Stop, stop, stop."
So he quit just from the pain of the strike?
Yeah, he just kind of basically, tapped from strikes, but he verbally tapped instead of tapping. He said, "Stop, stop, stop."
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, I had another guy tap from strikes too on the when they're Evan Penguin.
And what kind of strike did you throw at him?
Sorry, what's that?
So what kind of strike did you throw at him?
Punches and elbows from the ground. We just sort of turned over to his stomach and just tapped out to the mat.
That's really weird. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before.
You've never seen anyone tap from strikes?
I don't think so. Maybe I just watched too much UFC or something. I don't know. I haven't noticed that.
At the lower levels of MMA, it does happen probably a little more regularly.
Mhm.
There's a guy on one of the MFC cards not too long ago that did too. I can't remember. See, GSP tapped to Matt Serra too. He was tapping out, and the ref stopped it.
From strikes?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that actually. I was wondering why nobody seems to be doing that. I guess I just have been watching the wrong fights.
Yeah, sometimes maybe the refs get in there like quick enough, so then it almost looks like he stopped for TKO. But I don't know. I've seen it a few times anyway.
So when I watch your fights, you throw the overhand right a lot. Like it seems to be like your kind of go-to signature punch. Why is that?
I don't know. I guess I've had success landing it from training, and actually first started using it from just watching Dan Henderson fight. Like the big Dan H bomb. That was the first time when I saw how he kind of would throw it, and I just kind of tried to mimic it and start using it in training, and it seems to land a lot for me. I don't know why. It's because I have a little bit of a wrestling threat for the takedown, so when I sort of change levels a little bit, guys are got their hand a little bit, so then I can come over the top with the right, So, but I've been able to use it as a counter punch too. When guys are throwing their jabs and kind of leaving their jab hang out a little bit, been able to catch guys with it too. I don't know, it's just a strike I've had a lot of success with, and anytime I throw it, I seem to land it or come close to. So
yeah, you do. It seems to be like your deadly signature punch, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, it definitely is. And so definitely the punch that I've definitely done the most damage with, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, if you could go back to any fight and fight it differently, which would it be, and what would you do?
Any fight that I could do differently?
Yes.
I guess the last fight with Tom Galicchio, I guess, because it was in my mind fresh, and I'm still a little bit sour about it, I guess you could say. But I guess there a couple of things I could do. The number one thing is that I would have tried to go a little less with my kicking attack, because I knew he was a black belt, and I knew his best chance was to get me down. And anytime you're throwing kicks and you're standing on one leg, you're kind of leaving yourself.
You're a little bit vulnerable.
So I would have maybe, and that's how he got me down. Is I threw a right body kick, and he was able to sort of just catch it just enough to put me on my back. And sorry, excuse me. So yeah, I guess I would have maybe dialed the kicks down a little bit, maybe. And then the other thing is, when he jumped on my back, I would have maybe tried to fight the grip on the hands a little more before I kind of tried to slam them off of me. So yeah, that was a big fight. It was my the biggest fight of my career for the MFC belt, and I think the more that fight stayed on the feet, and the longer it goes, the better it was going to go for me. So.
Do you think you would have won that fight if it stayed standing up the entire time?
Yeah, like I definitely think that was my edge was in the striking. I think I was better technically standing up, and I think I hit a little harder than him, even though he was bigger than me. So, but I don't. That was my plan, was to stand up and.
Yeah, you seem to be dominating him when you're standing up, but then on the ground you just.
And he's got legit skills on the ground. I've never felt anybody be so dominant over me on the ground before, and I fought other high level black belts. Like I fought George Brito, who was ADC European champ. He's an instructor at Toronto Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, and I fought Novaez as well. He's also got very high level. He's a black belt. He's got some high level BJJ credentials, but I think maybe those two guys are both more bottom game jiu-jitsu guys, where like Galicchio's top game was like it was really really good and strong, and I felt pretty outmatched when he was on top of me, so that was frustrating.
Is there anything differently that he did that made him so much better than the other guys that you had fought?
Well, I think he just put a lot of pressure on me from top. Like he was always constantly like working to pass my guard, working to, just do anything to not let me just kind of work my game. He was just, I was on defensive mode the whole time I was on the ground, where some guys, you have that second to whatever, take a breath or get your game going, where it just felt like when he was on me, it was like, I could really feel like I was just.
So he was always just kind of pressing the attack on the ground. He just kept coming in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So if you could get into the ring with any fighter, who would it be?
Into the ring with any fighter?
Yeah, any professional fighter.
I don't know.
Alright, so this will be my last question, and it isn't related to MMA or anything. So, what are those tattoos on your arm and chest? What do they mean?
The one on my chest is I got two koi fish. And I got it when I was down. Me and my fiance were down visiting her family in California, and we just wanted to go and get tattoos for the fun of it. I got it down there. I had one kanji that says mother and the other one that says brother, like the Japanese symbols. So then I got a koi fish, one for each of them. And the koi fish, I guess, is supposed to stand for the ability to succeed through adversity. Is kind of the meaning of them.
Yeah, because they swim upstream.
So that's what those stand for. Because my mom and brother died when I was younger, so I kind of got that for them.
Oh, really? I wasn't aware of that. I'm sorry.
But no problem. I was 12 at the time, so it was a long time ago. But yeah, it's definitely tragedy that happened. But anyway, the one on my arm I got for my 30th birthday. Excuse me, I'm just kind of a little bit. I have a little bit of a cold, so I'm just sort of.
Oh, don't worry about it. It's no problem.
Yeah. Anyway, the one on my arm is what I got it for my 30th birthday. So it's basically a clock that says 2:19. It has the time on it, so that stands for my birthday, which is February 19th. And then there's just a bunch of other like clock gear parts, and there's like a big eye in there, and a bunch of other stuff. So it's kind of a little reminder that the clock's ticking and make the best of our time here, sort of thing.
Mhm. Okay.
Turning 30, you realize that there's only a certain amount of hours in the day and only a certain amount of time we have. So to make please a little reminder to make the best of it, sort of thing.
Okay. All right. So that'll be all. Thank you very much for your time.
Anyway, yeah, thanks a lot, man.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. All right, have a good night.